Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for February the 22nd through the 28th, 2021. So before we begin, I'd just like to welcome anyone who's viewing the channel for the very first time, and for any of our recent subscribers. And so just before we begin, just to make you aware of some of the information and some of the things that are going on in our channel. Sorry about that. And first of all, I will be working on the angel scopes, which I do a reading for each zodiac sign for the month. So that'll be coming out in the first week of March. So I'll be working on that. Hopefully this week I can get to it. And if you haven't checked out the one for this month already, it's posted. So also the daily card messages I write on this channel Monday through Friday. They are posted on, all this content I'm speaking about is posted here on YouTube. And it's also, you can find it on my Facebook page and my Twitter account. So there are links below if you want to be able to locate these videos and the information. Also, I've been offering my half-hour angel reading since the pandemic began for $77 for one full hour. So if you'd like to sign up for a reading with me, you would go to my webpage, theangelschool.com/services. The link is directly below this video for that. And you would go to that page and select the half-hour reading as is. And what you would do is you would go and just simply select it within 24 hours on the first business day. I will send you a confirmation email indicating the special offer. It will come with instructions about how to submit your availability. So don't worry about the page, the little box on my page to set up an appointment, because I don't think it really works. So, and within that 24-hour period on the first business day, you'll get that confirmation email. The instructions will be in there. And this has no limits, so if you've had a reading before with this special offer, you can choose it again, okay? So no limits or restrictions. And I think that's it. Finally, and there are some meditations that are on the channel as well. Okay, so I'm getting some messages. It was actually today, for the very first time, the chorus, this is the word they wrote to me, the chorus of angels, or a chorus of angels has appeared, and they are surrounding all of us right now. And names are just sort of flashing of different archangels and some angels that I don't know. I'm seeing Archangel Raphael, and Angelica, and Angelique, and just all sorts of archangels. We have this chorus of angels that are coming through and surrounding you. So let's take a deep breath and take this opportunity to slow down and to really tune in. And they're writing the angel number 5, which is about big changes happening in your life. And so I'm getting a sense in this week that some, important shifts, shifts are happening. And with those shifts within you, will create new possibilities or alternatives in your paradigm, in which this will allow you to start, it's like the energy will be nudging you to consider and to make decisions that will change your life and have an enormous effect on your life moving forward. So Archangel Raphael is really strongly been, just writing his name, sort of, it sort of like keeps flashing. So he's going to be helping us with this transition in your life. So, he's a healing angel. He's also the angel of love, but he also helps us with our travels and these types of transitions. So just be aware as you take a deep breath in your heart of this emerald green energy that is surrounding you. And the unicorns are coming in as well. And a chorus of angels, of your guides, are surrounding you. And just breathe in this frequency. Just whether you can feel them or see them or maybe even hear them, or there's a smell or a warmth or a vibration. Even if you can't perceive them, they are still there. But just connect in with that energy. Tune into it however. You might be the kind of person who can imagine, and then this really helps you to connect. But however you do it, just feel their vibration, and they're opening up a book of knowledge. And what I get a sense is that your spiritual divine blueprint, yes, it's actually open up to like one of those spreadsheets. Your divine blueprint is on this. And I feel like the shifts that are going to occur for you in this week have to do with you spiritual knowledge and spiritual gifts. I even wrote the word power at the very beginning. That some of your spiritual powers are going to surface within you. And these are going to be, this may be talents and attributes that you already have, but they may be also ones that you do not acknowledge enough, and where you have doubts and your greatest fears, and these particular gifts have challenged you the most because for some reason you were afraid to open up and put yourself out there, to be vulnerable, to say, I'm this powerful, I'm this strong, I'm this gifted in this way. And you may have even had people to really make fun of it, or kind of blame you for that gift, like saying, oh, you're too sensitive, or you think you know it all, that kind of thing. And so these powers, these spiritual powers within you, as they start to awaken, they open the door of opportunities, and they activate within your energy field abundance on a new level. And they keep showing me this, my symbol, the mushroom for abundance. So it keeps opening, and so what this will create for you is this, it'll shift your mindset, your attitude, expand it even further outside of your paradigm, so that you might start to see a light beyond this wall of fear and restrictions and caution that you've been sort of existing within, and not being able to go to the border of that paradigm and step and look over even. Okay, so it's like I feel like the words have been put in my mouth. You're going to get a taste for life in a way that you've never had it before. and it's going to create sort of urges, right? Just like when you get a urge. I don't think that's the right word. I don't know why I can't think of words right now. But it's like when you get a urge for something sweet, right? And it's sort of like, ooh, it's something, you just gotta have it. And so you'll get this urge for the possibilities outside of your paradigm of fear. And your faith is going to really expand. As a matter of fact, I don't know why they wrote this word, but okay, this is an interesting concept. But they wrote, your faith is going to orgasm. Okay, that's very potent and very powerful, and I think we all get it, right? It's very expressive, and they want you to feel the magnitude of this by using these words. So pay attention, they're writing, to the messages that you're receiving. And they also wrote this faith, your faith is going to orgasm. And they wrote in the center of that the word skills. So really pay attention to how your skills, how something's coming through your skills, a passion or inspiration is coming through your skills, and be open to that. And that's why don't doubt, just believe. Have faith, believe. And the way to put your faith or belief, to believe in yourself, is to begin. When you're inspired, go right to it. Don't give your ego the opportunity to talk you out of it. Just go right into it and trust. Show up. If you're drawing something, you're working with your hands with something, I get a sense of that. And I'll never forget one time I had a church job, and I was so nervous. One Sunday I sat down to the organ and I couldn't remember. It was like all of my skills that I learned. I mean, voice was my forte, but it was like it was all wiped, erased, and I couldn't remember. It felt like 10 minutes, but it probably was seconds. You know how time expands when you're really afraid. It's like slow-mo. And I couldn't remember. And I remember thinking to myself, they kept pressing the buzzer for me to start the first hymn. It was my very first church job. And all of a sudden, something just said, put your hands down and on the keys and go. And when I did it, it all came back to me. It was just this, because that's what fear does. It destabilizes, or I don't know the word I'm looking for, or disengages your abilities, or disables your abilities. That's what fear does. It makes you believe you are incapable of doing something. And it could go to the point of paralyzing you, meaning that you lose all connection with it. But if you show up in that way and you just do it without thinking, just do it, it will rush back to you, because that level of faith, what if I had put my hands on the organ and I just played like a 2-year-old? But it was in there. The practice was in there. The practice over the years, all of it. So it was really there. It was not gone. But my mind convinced me that it was no longer there, even to the point that it was no longer in my body, in the muscles and all the muscle memories, and that it was gone. I felt a complete swipe. So just be aware that your gifts are fully present. And I'm seeing the Archangel Nathaniel, whose name means the gift of God. And he's really, indicating that your gifts are going to expand in some way this week, but it's going to come by when you feel that inspiration, and then to take that opportunity to do it. Don't say, "Oh, I haven't done that in a long time," or "No, that's trouble. I'm not going to go there." take this opportunity to trust in the universe. I'm seeing so many names of angels and archangels. I'm seeing the Archangel Ramuel, and his name means the thunder of God. So, there's this revelation or sense that's going to come through for you. Archangel Michael is with you, giving you the courage. This chorus of angels is going to be with you this week. And so you're not going to remember every name, and you're not going to know everyone that's there. This week, call on the chorus of angels. Acknowledge that you know that they're present. This is the very first time they've ever revealed themselves in this way, as this collective form to me. So in this week, make sure that you call on your chorus of angels that are with you, and for them to act on your behalf together for whatever it is that you need. You need courage. Archangel Michael, he just wrote courage for him. If you need courage, call upon Archangel Michael to boost your courage, your confidence, and your knowing. Because Archangel Michael is also like the kind of fix-it archangel. So if you have a problem, or there's a mechanical thing or a computer, you can call on him to fix it, right? But you can also call on him to do the same thing for you. So just call on him if you need courage, confidence. Call on Archangel, I'm saying the word forgiveness. And you can call on the Archangel Jeremiah, or the Archangel Zadkiel for forgiveness, to help you to forgive someone or to forgive yourself. Whatever acts of forgiveness you need, you can call upon your angels. But you don't have to call upon them specifically. They will know. They will come based on what it is the need. So just call on them. But I know it helps sometimes. It makes you feel really supported and strong when you're able to call on specific angels. Okay, so let's take a look at the archangel that is energy that is coming through. And this makes sense. With this course of angels, we have Archangel Metatron, because Archangel Metatron is the archangel who is working with this, overseeing the entire ascension process. And all these shifts that we're going through, the divine blueprint, this is under the guidance of Archangel Metatron. Okay, and so we can't say enough about this divine blueprint, which is your soul contract. And you really have to understand that no matter what is going on, remember we talked about this last week about, Lord, don't move my mountain, but give me the strength to climb, because there are these mountains that are being placed in front of us that are specifically what we agreed to in order to help to, and I love putting it this way, you heard me say this in 2020 because that's what that year was about, to provoke the challenges, the obstacle course was to provoke, awaken your latent gifts, and to help awaken those who were not before, so that they would no longer just be functioning within this paradigm of the ego and serving that purpose, and to awaken everyone so they stop serving that purpose and start serving their soul purpose, because we understand that the ego's purpose is to serve its own interest. And this is still true, how you're going to, when you awaken, you're going to be really service motivated. And this I think is a key component, no matter how personal it seems that this challenge is for you. No matter how personal your mountain to climb seems, it truly is a mountain that you're climbing for the service of all, for the highest good. And so the mountains that we're going through, pray for the strength to climb it, not to go around it, because you know that you're going to evolve, and you're going to, when you get to the top of that mountain peak, you will be able to understand. You'll see the schematics, right, of your divine blueprint. And this is what this one major opportunity out of this. So be faithful, they're writing, and trust. All right, so Archangel Metatron's message is, whoops, Kendall just popped there. Prioritize, okay? So it says focus on what? Focus on your highest priorities. This is the time right now. Whatever you have felt strongly about, even if you have been wanting to have it take, even if you've wanted it to be removed from you. I think in the parable, and with Jesus, is like when they said something at one point about removing this cup from me. I think maybe when Jesus was praying in the garden. But anyway, it's this idea, no, this cup is yours. This is your moment, right? And the thing about it is your fear, they just wrote the word expectations. Don't let your fear dictate what you will expect. Be aware that that is a tactic to throw you off of this focus, to make you want to take an escape route around that mountain. Don't listen to those kinds of things. Don't get in the habit of trying to figure out from your fear. And you'll know you're doing it because the conversation will be like the worst case scenario. You'll be running in through your head all the things that could go wrong. Notice that when that happens, you never think of all the opportunities. So that is your ego trying to sabotage, rope you back into the paradigm where you feel stuck. Because it's afraid. It's not evil. It's afraid of where you're going because it won't have any control, because it won't know anything about that paradigm, which means it doesn't like feeling inadequate. And isn't that one of the things that drives a lot of us? We don't do things because we think we have to be smart. Like, we can't be dumb in front of people. And, the biggest, I think one of the most liberating things is sometimes to say, I don't know, and I mean, what I mean by that is when people, especially when you're in an argument with somebody, you don't have to say, I know, and I'm not trying to pick, you hear people say it that way, and you can hear that they're, offended or in some way, or they're uncomfortable in some way. But when you hear yourself saying that, it's okay. The reason it's okay to say it to yourself internally. Okay, this I don't know. I don't mean to kind of know, because I do this a lot, where I'm constantly just doubting myself. I go overboard, like, oh my God, I don't know how to do this. I don't know this. I don't know how to do that. Now that's like the other end of the ego on it, where you're just giving up and giving in to this notion. And if you keep saying that, then of course that's what it informs everything about your behavior. But it's okay to say, I'm going to no, I don't know everything. I don't know. But when you say it out loud when somebody's talking to you, yeah, I know. Yeah, like that is another aspect of the ego that we need to be aware of. And that is just saying that you're not comfortable. That's your ego saying, I'm not comfortable with not knowing. When somebody has to say, I know. And you don't need to get upset with them when they do it, if they do it to you, because it does tend to irritate us. This projection from the ego, when it comes at us, it irritates us. And that's to rope us into a distraction from our priorities. So you see the cycle here. So just be aware of that. And what Archangel Metatron is just saying, focus on what you feel feel so strongly about. You've been feeling something, and this is where you need to clear the slate. Or clear your schedule, clear all this extraneous stuff and just say, I'm going to focus here. I don't know what's going to happen. Because that's another thing that the ego does to us. Where you say, well, if you clear this, and then it could be a waste of time. You don't know, you're going to sit there and, let's say for doodle or something, you say, I'm going to draw. And you say, I don't really know how to draw, but I feel passionately all of a sudden they're telling me to draw, but I don't know how. And then your ego say, but if you sit there and do that, you may waste all this time, and then you're going to have all that work to catch up on. Don't listen to that kind of thing. And if you don't go with expectations, because they may tell you to draw, and you know you can't draw, but in trying and being challenged by it, you learned something else, and that would have been the point. Okay? So trust. There is never a reason that they ask you to do something that you won't get something from it. There will maybe be a reason that you do not perceive, because you are bringing expectations and you're listening. You got your ego in your ear giving you ideas about what this should have been and how you just said and did this and you should have listened to me, kind of thing. So be vulnerable. It's okay to not know, even when you're guided or nudged to do something. Okay. And he says, I will help you get organized and motivated. So call upon Archangel Metatron. Once you show up, call on him and then show up and see what happens. All right. Let's take a look at the cards for the week. Oh, me. Okay, we have the 10 of fire. So this is the 10 of wands traditionally. You can see that a man is carrying someone else on their back. So I really get this sense about these are the kind of things, these distractions, okay? You may really be into your obligations. You may, wonderful person, wonderful soul, you take your responsibilities seriously, but you're taking them a little too seriously. And so seriously that you don't even realize that it's not your responsibility. You're just used to being responsible. Like you're the responsible one. Not a good, like there is, our ego feeds into that, right? Because that means, I know everything, so everybody looks to me. And then there's a good aspect of that where, everybody knows that your word is as good as gold, that if you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it, you get it done, you're hardworking, right? That would be sort of the light aspects of this card. So just give me sort of the light and the shadow of this card in this for this kind of scenario that we're talking about specifically, but you need to be aware, and that might be one of where your changes happen. And you may say, well, Barry, here's Archangel Nathaniel coming through again, and said, Barry, you said that my gifts were going to open up. But the thing is, you have a challenge that's in your way. You have a mountain that's standing in your way of being able to fulfill your talents or for them to realize through you. And this might be that. This sense of duty and responsibility to the point that you need to let, cut some of those cords and let other people learn to be responsible for themselves. And then really truly get down to the bare essentials of what really are your responsibilities, according to your divine blueprint. Because this is what Archangel Metatron is bringing up for us this week. So this is what this reading is really about. Here's your divine blueprint and your divine contract, soul contract, It's time. We like calling all, we all, um, Source sent out a clarion call to all souls for this specific moment in Earth's history. And they wanted the people who they know would not fail in what they would set out to do. So that's why a lot of you have this sense of responsibility, because you were chosen for that. That nothing could ever prevent you. Okay, sorry about that, but the camera had stopped again. So the last thing I was saying is that so that nothing could prevent you. You were chosen because they knew that nothing would prevent your souls. Your souls were so had a strong sense of duty. You had proven yourself as a soul entity to be a incredible force of light, of enlightenment, of mastery, right? You were you were the kind of souls that could not be tripped up by this three-dimensional construct. That no matter what, no matter how rock bottom, I was telling one of my cousins last night, it's like if you want to think about the divine, the consciousness or love itself is like this golden thread made of this material that it's flexible in every way. It looks like any other thread, but but it's maybe like the kind of material that Wonder Woman's lasso is made out of. It's something from another world, but it's invincible, right? So no matter how rock bottom you might reach in your lifetime in the three-dimensional mindset, you would nothing could ever, break this bond of love between you and God. And so that's why you were chosen, because no matter how low or difficult or challenging things would become within this reality, you would bounce back. That golden thread it's invincible, and you would just bounce back. So the souls that are here, no soul is here without being at that calibration. And that means that everyone, and this is what I was saying afterwards, I don't know if I remember everything that I said beyond it, but this part I'm remembering now. This is why everybody that's here, even the people who are now serving in the capacity of being the ones who are the most hated, because they challenge us, or they frighten us, or they seem to be some kind of threat to our inner, I don't know how to put this, but moral code, or whatever we consider is good. They seem to be a threat to that, but they came in, they chose this blueprint. And this is one of the things I was saying as well, that they were saying to me, and I never thought about it, it never came to me. But every part of your physicalness, your brain, your nervous system, your organs, your DNA, all of these components of you are calibrated to your divine blueprint. Because there are mountains. The mountains in your life are meant to slowly help you to awaken at the proper divine moment. They couldn't do it all at once, because your physicalness would not be able to handle that kind of, it would be like an overload, like this card. It would be, I don't know what this would be, they call it in technology or software, but it just, this would blow the fuse. which is something that this card is also, when something is too much energy, like too much fire energy, will cause combustion. And that's what would have happened if you were to awaken all at once, all of a sudden. So that's why the contrast in the three-dimensional reality is serving the highest good, because just like I was saying to you in 2020, that it was going to be a year of obstacles, in order to provoke. I said it was a breakthrough year, but it would be like an obstacle course that would provoke your awakening. And that is the purpose of those people who are divine, just as you and I, because nobody got here without that kind of level of mastery. No one. But different people chose different purposes, contracts to fulfill in the contrast, so that we all could awaken and choose through these our humanity to honor and embody our I am presence and source consciousness, so that we be divinity at its most awareness, in a human form. Okay, and this is our main goal and achievement, in the ascension process. It's not to throw away the duality. As you know, you've heard me say many times, that the fifth dimensional mindset is not going to see nothing but peace, but it will be that we see the bigger picture. Like what I'm describing to you right now, the conversations we have here, when you and I are here every week, we've been having a fifth dimensional experience, because and any other healer online that does this kind of work is because this is what we are all doing. We're seeing the purpose of the contrast, and we're not seeing it as an evil, but we're seeing it as a process of healing. And that gives the soul peace. And that is the peace of God. And that is the reason why God cannot stop loving you, never has judged you. Because if he did that, then he would not be what he is. And then if he is not what he is, which is love, then you and I would no longer exist, because once that blueprint that God or source is altered, then everything that it created no longer can exist. So whenever you think, and this is why I think the chorus of the company of heaven, the chorus of angels are coming in today, because whenever you feel bad, and whenever we judge anyone, we don't feel good about it. You might feel kind of like pumped up, but you are running energy that, like, it's almost like a sort of an anxiety. You feel exhausted afterwards. You feel angry, and then we're human, so we have to process these things. So not shaming any of us for doing that, but we just have to be aware that there's a reason why these things kind of tilt our balance off. Okay? Because they're happening for a reason. They're helping us to awaken. And this is why we want to really honor our mountains. We want to honor them, and we want to pray for the strength to climb them. Okay, we spent a lot of time on this particular card, so I'm going to move on. And we have the High Priestess. It's the first time this card is appearing here. And she has what the author calls some kind of cosmic lattice that she's holding. And this lattice is like, for me, it's like a matrix, or like the energy grid. I call up energy grids when I'm doing a reading or a person asks me a question. I call up what I believe is something like this. And I believe that this grid, because I've seen it as well, is like the structure of the hologram that is containing the projections of our experience, whatever reality or belief. It can be anything. I even believe that this three-dimensional world has this grid, and that each of us is projecting through our collective consciousness the video of what we see in our three-dimensional see, feel, with all our five senses. We experience, better word. That projection is why we experience the physicalness that we're experiencing. And so she's holding it here. And this is that secret knowledge that the high priestess helps you to understand. And it's like, sort of think of like God holding his creation in his hands. And he's all in it. His every aspect of him, his mind, his love, like when you goes into the creation of what has been made, and he's sustaining it, and we are within it. And sometimes we looking at aspects of our lives and we're like, I don't get this. Like, why is this? Why am I suffering this way? But within that, the structure, the blueprint, there is a purpose. And it's why we're being asked to go within with the high priestess here to understand what that purpose is. To not just get, distracted by the external, but to go within to find what that purpose is. This is an important week for us to really discover our priorities and to tune into that. Okay, let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. Now, this is the Ace of Air, typically swords. And so what we're seeing here, this eagle, white eagle flying high above the mountain. So in this week, if not by the end of the week, we're going to get some clarity. Okay? So as it feels like that you're going to work through some challenges this week. It's going to cause you to go within, and at the end of the week, or the problem, which could happen at any time of the week, you will see the light. You will see the bigger picture on that particular thing that is real, that you've been really challenged by. So in this week, some challenge comes to a head, and a realization is perceived for the first time that helps you to see the possibilities outside of this paradigm. So this week, stick in with that mountain. Pray for the courage. Ask your angels to support you, all right? And focus on, despite all that extraneous stuff on the outside, focus on what you are feeling. God, I can't get my grammar here. But focus on what is the most essential, the strongest, the most passionate, motivated idea that is coming to you. And it's been on your mind for a while, but you just haven't maybe sat down. Just sit down and get to it and see what unfolds. Give yourself a chance. All right, so let's take a look at the card that I've already pulled from the bottom of the deck. And we have the King of Air. Okay? And these shimmering ones are very interesting in this deck, aren't they? It's such a beautiful deck. And so there's the white eagle. Isn't that interesting? And he's standing over the mountaintop. So the eagle is flying to the king. So this might mean that someone may show up in your life. Number one, a couple of things. This might be you by the end of the week with this kind of ability to perceive, because the King of Air is someone who's very clear-minded, fair-minded. So you might, at the end of the week, either things might work out in a way that's clear and fair, that you'll feel really good about it. And also, it might be that someone comes into your life and this problem, they handle it fairly, or someone that might illuminate the situation, or be able to give you perspective to help you to see more clearly what your goal and your purpose is. It also might mean that a situation happens that provokes you to really understand yourself more more profoundly. What is your purpose, or which direction you're going, or a decision that needs to be made. If you have a decision that you're worried about, and you're thinking about, that you will figure out the right decision, and that you can trust your judgment about what that is. So all of this is possible to unfold for you in this week. So this is a beautiful opportunity this week. And the symbolism, that's here, with the white eagle and flying high, it just gives a sense that you're going to rise above it all in this week. You're going to rise above that important thing that's been really challenging you for a while. And you're going, if you call upon your angels, your choir of angels, and to imbue you with the love and the strength and the tenacity, and to actually also your sense of responsibility for the first time to your divine blueprint, which is the one of service, not self-interest. So I send you lots of love and angel blessings. Have a powerful week. And may God bless every area of your life and fill it with joy and abundance.